to the Greypilledpodcast, where truth's unveiled, exploring the depths beyond what is retail. Conspiracies, esoteric knowledge so enthralling. Open up your mind, let's dive into the sprawling. Oh yeah, Greypill awaken. Welcome to the Greypilledpodcast, where truth's unveiled, exploring the depths beyond what is retail. Conspiracies, esoteric knowledge so enthralling. Open up your mind, let's dive into the sprawling. Oh yeah, Greypill awaken, question what you know. Peeling back the latest, let your curiosity grow. Uncover hidden realities, break the mold. Come take the journey, let your mind unfold.
And welcome to the Greypilledpodcast, everybody. What's going on? It's your boy Jules here for another episode. I'm joined by my homeboys, The Cave, tonight. J0reeezy and Chef. What's going on, bros?
What's going on, Jules? Thanks for having us on.
Good, man. I butchered that fucking intro. I don't know what happened there.
Hell yeah. Remember it, man. That's what makes you.
Dude, it played and it was just in the middle of the video. So,
Yo, I recorded a podcast one time with my audio on mute the whole way, bro. And
wait, the whole podcast?
Yeah, but just my mic was muted on the recording, but everyone could hear me, so no one, thought to say anything. Oh, and so I was like, should I scrap this episode? But I was like, nah, I'm just gonna fucking voice over that shit. So yeah, one of our episodes is a voiceover by me.
That's amazing, dude. Yeah. That's actually that influences me to want to go and do that for one of my episodes if I ever.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so we had planned on doing this after we had you on Schizo one Saturday evening, and I hope you had a good time.
Hell yeah,
with us crazy fucks. I know you and Nate kind of go back, so.
Nate is funny as fuck, bro. Nate is actually the reason our podcast shifted from a culture podcast to just a comedy podcast, dude. Because
really,
yeah, that guy was so unhinged. I think he had a little bit too much to drink, but I think it made it too. You know what I mean? It's
yeah, dude.
A portion of that episode had some truth, a portion of that episode had some, just bullshit, and a portion of that episode had some thought experiments. So put it all together, let's just make a comedy podcast, So yeah, shout out to Nate for that.
Well, Schizo News Network, it is the news, but we're also retarded. So people can kind of take and leave what they want from it. Chef, I think we were supposed to have you on last Saturday, or maybe a couple Saturdays ago. But
Nate, I never heard back. From Nate, but I guess I'll just go through you from here on out. Whenever, I'm down whenever, man. I'm down whenever.
Yeah, man. Well, I'll see if we have anybody for this Saturday. If not, even if so, we could probably still bring you on too. We can have two guests. We did past weekend, so.
I love it. I was telling you before we hit the button there that we watch it live it's on Sundays, I believe. I think it was on Sunday. Was it Sunday or I think Sunday? No, it was on Saturday.
Schizo?
Saturdays, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Saturday night.
Yeah. So we sit down, we throw it. I think we throw you guys up on Rockfin.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Nate streams at the Rockfin. Yeah.
Yeah. So we watch it.
Brother.
The kids go in the room and play with their little VR, and me and my fiance sit back and enjoy the show. Always a lot of fun. Some of the stuff you guys go over, dude, is some of the news articles at least are very interesting.
Yeah, dude,
that's what I was expecting. I thought it was gonna be just shooting the shit, but he was actually going through a structured, current of events.
Dude, Nate has a set schedule. He's like, all right, we have to go. He wants to make sure we go through every article and we cover it. And it was kind of his idea and my idea. I kind of was like, hey, you know, what do you think about this? And he was like, I've been wanting to do that for a minute, so let's do that. And I was looking for something else to do besides Greypill, because I was still working on getting some people on, and now that I have a bunch of people lined up, and plus Schizo News Network and like 2 other podcasts, Sound Science, and my other little Pantheon project that I have with my buddy Adrian. So I'm busy now, and that's good.
Yeah, bro.
You know, I like it. Yeah. So
J0reeezy keeps my ass really busy. I'm always busy.
You always need a friend like that, man. That's kind of like,
I appreciate it.
I was about to say, man, like I told you the first time we talked, like you're active, you're busy, you know, and early in the game, you just want to get those reps in, you know, and once you get those reps in and you have a bunch of shows and you're doing shows with a bunch of people that are already experienced, you know, so not only is that beneficial,
very blessed to have that. Yeah, man.
Not only is it beneficial for you
that,
though, but like a lot of people that are kind of the front runners in their own brand, like sometimes it gets exhausting just pushing the envelope yourself or trying to come up with ideas by yourself. When you have someone that's just, you know, wanting to collaborate and, you know, nothing else behind it, and, you know, kind of gets that ball rolling for you to be like, hey, what do you think about this news idea? You know, that person might have already thought about that idea, or that person was just waiting for someone to kind of pitch that idea to get that ball rolling, and then that kind of grows into something else. So
yeah, it's like a connected consciousness kind of thing, dude.
Right, man.
In a way, everyone who I've met since I've started podcasting back in January, they've all been great people. Very selfless, you know.
Right.
Help me with anything that I need. At the same time, you know, I mean, I know a thing or two about what I talk about, so it's not like I'm just like throwing a fucking wrench in there, you know.
Yeah, but you're crazy. That's a crazy dog.
So what? I know this is kind of backwards, but like, what got you into, like, what shows were you watching, and what got you into this, like wanting to do shows?
Well, bro, back my wife showed me Bohemian Grove back in like 2011, 2012, when I was like real stoned, or maybe I was tripping or something. And so I remember it, you know. And once we had our son and I started to get older, and you know, when you're young, you're not really into I mean, now fucking kids are, they're all into politics. I think it's bullshit, but you know, you're not really into politics. So as you get older, and especially as a father and as a husband and as a man, you know, as a straight man, you know, straight white male, you know, because it's like illegal to be that now. You know, I started to, I guess, get into politics, more into the culture, because I saw all this crazy shit going on. Like as soon as Trump had got first, when he was first in office, you notice how he's just being attacked from all sides. And it's like, wait, what the fuck? And so you start to go down these rabbit holes, and of course that's when all the stuff with Pizzagate and you know, all this shit is coming out. So I kind of already knew about some stuff, but I kind of got a little further into it. Then I went to treatment in 2018. When I was in treatment, I met this guy. His name was David. He was in there a lot longer than me. He was court ordered to be in there, but he showed me basically just pages that he had on the Rothschilds, like one of those guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck yes, dude. It's what I needed at the time, you know? Mm-hmm. And so when I got out of treatment, I just started like diving into shit, mainly conspiracies at first, cryptids, conspiracies, supernatural, the fucking paranormal. I didn't really get into the occult or the esoteric until I'd say around 2020.
Yeah,
man. So I guess I started listening to Tinfoil Hat in around 2018, like right around when I got out of treatment. And I fucking loved it. And I started listening to those conspiracy guys not too long after that. The confessionals I had always been a fan of. So like a few different shows. But I kind of just did research for years. You know, I wasn't really online in the community. I had an Instagram probably. But so I was just delving into different things, into ancient civilizations and buying books and reading them, and did that for a good 5 years up until this last January. Well, I had gotten in touch with Thomas probably 3 or 4 months before that. Started doing a little promotion for him because I had planned on doing a podcast, starting a podcast, I guess, probably a year before that. But my father-in-law was murdered. So I waited because me and my family needed time, and that was good as well. That I waited because I had more time to research more and set stuff up. And so eventually I was finally like, I have to do this now. If I don't do it now, then I'm not going to do it. I was like, fuck it. And so, yeah, man.
Hell yeah, man.
Here we are. And
so before the podcast, what was your outlet for all your research? Like, did you have a group, like we talked earlier, did you have a group of friends that kind of heard you out, that believed in it a little bit?
My wife, bless her heart, dude.
Shout out to her, man.
Dude,
shout out Olivia. I love you.
That is so crazy, dude, because...
Well, she put you on, right? She put you on.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Okay.
And she's the one who told me, like, you should start a podcast because you retain way too much information to not be able to talk about it.
Yeah,
but
man.
it was real hard for me at first to like open up just talking to people on like,
for sure,
and it still is sometimes. They're like, this is probably, besides Schizo News Network and the Sound Sciences that me and Thomas do, this is probably the 3rd or 4th Greypill that I've gone live on.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So
it's intense, dude. It's definitely intense, and there's definitely like a learning curve there because. But what I wanted to say is that it's funny that you said that your wife kind of got you into this because when the whole pandemic started, right? My fiance she stumbled across Fall Cabal, the whole Fall Cabal series, and she's the one that brought that to light to me. And then once I started watching it, because at first I was freaking out, dude. I was like, oh my god, like,
dude.
And
I found that on a YouTube channel, but I didn't finish it because it was taken off. That was back. There was a time period in between. I don't know, man. The later teens where you could find any of those documentaries on YouTube on certain channels, but after the whole QAnon bullshit, they all got taken down. Everything.
Yeah, man.
Everything from like fucking everything from the dark web. Everything.
Shout out to Rumble because they're being re-uploaded over there.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Some of them are actually.
Shout out Rumble, man. I think we're on Rumble right now.
Hell yeah. I was sleeping on Rumble, but I just got hit up and I heard there were like pay-per-view functions in Rumble. And there's other functions for Rumble that are pretty cool.
For real?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I need to look into it, but I've been lagging on
that.
Re-uploading on Rumble, but I just always felt like it had a stigma compared to YouTube, and fuck the stigma and all that, but it just like as far as reach goes, like that might be the line that people won't cross in order to download Rumble because they think it's,
Well, I get way way more plays, probably. I'm
I
pretty
bet.
sure.
I bet it gets
Rumble
pushed
than
more too.
YouTube. Yeah.
Mhm. So,
But the stream sometimes lags on Rumble. I'm not gonna lie. It's hard to watch anything on there. Yeah.
I see.
Don't want to hate on you, Rumble. Love you. Thank you for the free speech platform.
Yo, I pitched the idea that Elon Musk should buy Rumble and TikTok and just fucking,
I'm surprised he hasn't yet, dude.
right? Isn't that a good ass idea to just go up against Meta? And even though it's not really free speech, you could market as that, You already have a market, bro. So,
Yeah.
spoiler alert, maybe.
Well, I mean, him and fucking Zuckerberg both look. I don't know which one looks more autistic, but they both need to get in a cage and just battle it out, dude.
Yeah, I'd be down for that for sure, man.
Yeah,
They were supposed to. Wasn't there talk about that? Because I know Mark Zuckerberg, I think both of them train in jiu-jitsu.
At this point, Zuckerberg
Zuckerberg
looks
did, I
active.
think.
Yeah, Zuckerberg's
He does.
training with other UFC fighters, so
Dude, but okay, real quick. Can we just just go over this? Like, did you guys see, I think it was UFC 300, I believe. Mark Zuckerberg walked out with
what's it called? Holloway?
yes, was it? I think Max Holloway, yeah.
You said 300, right? Let me see.
Yeah, I think it was 300. I think it was 300, and he just looked like, I remember he had like a piece of gear, either like a mouthpiece or something, and like went to go hand it to somebody, and he looked like a fish out of water, bro. Like, yeah, he was just that was not his element at all.
Who's this?
At all.
Man. Elon Musk has come out as autistic. He's openly autistic, right? But
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg, I mean, he might just be socially awkward, Or some people say he's a bot or a shape-shifting reptilian. So,
yeah.
Shape-shifting
I'll go
reptilian.
with the latter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm pretty sure Musk is a homunculus, or he's like a fucking Nephilim portal baby. One or the other, because damn, man, yeah, I don't know, dude.
You said you were doing research on a fallen angel lineage.
Yeah,
dude, we're gonna talk about that first of all, but
okay.
The thing is about with Elon Musk and Zuckerberg and clones and all that, like,
Yeah,
I just saw a video of animatronics, right? And it was like CGI replaced this, and some of the animatronics were getting really advanced. You think they just scrapped all that shit?
no,
You know what I mean? I think the Biden that we're seeing and some of the celebrities that we're seeing might just be either advanced animatronic or just people in skin suits too. So if reptilian shape-shifting is too out there for you, animatronic and special effects makeup, I feel like it's more believable, and there's for sure that kind of shit going on. I think.
I don't know, bro. Reptilian shape-shifting is pretty believable. I'm not gonna lie. I very much so believe that there's some of these celebrities or elite people who have either lived for a very long time, either physically, as a fucking vampire or something,
right,
or in avatar bodies, going all the way back to Babylon and shit, dude.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's fucking go into it, man, because even in ancient Egypt, that's what they were trying to, do in those pyramids. They were trying to preserve their bodies, so somehow the pyramid can kind of almost serve as a beacon to them to kind of come back into that body, right? So I saw this fucking movie. It's called Under the Silver Lake, I believe, with Andrew Garfield, and it talks about that, bro. It talks about the elites believing in ancient Egypt lore or religion or mythology, and that's what they were trying to do, and that's kind of where the underground bunkers and all that stuff come into. But it's interesting too, because it talks about media and how a lot of these people, like, there's a small handful of people that really control media, and everybody knows that, but seeing that depicted in this movie is crazy. But going back to Hollywood and Fallen Angels, I raised this pretty interesting observation too. Like the Hollywood Walk of Fame, they're stars, right? Like what are stars doing on the sidewalk? That is like point blank symbolism of a fallen star, of a fallen
symbolism
angel, right?
of the also symbolism of the morning star, which is
Mount
Lucifer.
And Mount Herman.
Yeah, dude.
All the
That's
stars. Paramount.
That's where Semyaza came down with the 300 angels.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a few angles you could get into it from. There's the biblical angle. There's which really isn't much at all. There's the Enochian angle, and then there's the Anunnaki angle.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to cover all three, but the Anunnaki one, there's more to connect there. When you go all the way back to Sumeria, there's more to connect. And but also Enoch is a great book. But you can read about the original angels that came down, and for some reason, some people have a problem with the Anunnaki story because of the ancient aliens thing, and I completely understand that. And there's some people that have a problem with Sitchin. And then you have people who are flat earthers who have a problem with it altogether. And I completely understand all of that, dude. I mean, I don't know if it's true or not, but you can go and read the Sumerian stories of these Anunnaki beings, and you can find out where they could possibly have come from, like physically. Right. And I believe that there was a certain group of angels that was sent here, because even the Anunnaki refer to a creator of all, but they were sent here. And when they got here and they realized what they could do here, they basically made a decision right then and there. And this is the Anunnaki. This isn't the lesser Anunnaki that made it with the earth women. They fell even lower. So you have classes of angels, basically, like seraphim and cherubim. Right. Seraphim means fiery serpent, right? Enki, his side of the Anunnaki race, which would stem from Orion, was reptilian in nature, right?
I was about to ask, are they have any relation to reptilians? So
yeah, he was an egg birth.
Okay. Through
parthenogenesis. It's basically an asexual reproduction in an egg, just insemination of the sperm, or of the essence of, in this case, the queen of Orion, the mother of the Pleiades, named Maya. So she apparently has a lot of names and reign. If you get into, if you don't believe that space is fake and gay, because some people believe space is fake and gay. And I don't know, man. I mean, I'd like to say it's not, because these stories line up too much with other stories. But then again, what text can we really rely on? They've all been watered down and translated and rewritten over and over by people who rewrote everything, So it's like, question everything but this.
Well, dude, to be honest, like if you're reading it in English, it's already watered down, like to really get the true form of it, like you have to learn the language and be able to actually just read it and translate it yourself, But even if you translate it yourself purely, there's going to be a naysayer that's going to pick it apart.
Oh, for sure, man, for sure.
So it's kind of
that's
hard.
Fine, dude, because I'll listen to those people too.
Right. Yeah.
I love hearing it, and just don't get mad at me.
Yeah. Right.
Some people, and I see you laughing, Chef. Like you know what I'm talking about. Some people get mad real easily when you don't agree to whatever they believe.
Yeah, man. First of all, I didn't know I was muted. I don't know how that happened.
Oh shit! I had to see that, man. I don't know how that happened. I
don't
didn't
know
click
how-
on anything.
No, dude, it does that sometimes. And before I keep talking, let me make sure that I have the right audio. Yep. So right now I sound like dog shit.
Yeah, you
And
kind of muffled. There you
And
go.
now I'm gonna sound a little bit better.
Hey,
All
you
right.
sound great, man.
This happens quite often. I don't know what the issue is, but yeah, I'm the same way, man. I'm the same way, Jules. I'm open. My thought process, dude, it does change on the daily, like literally on the daily of like what I believe. Like I've said space is fake and gay like a bajillion fucking times, and I will probably say it a bajillion times more. But with that being said, like when you think about like all these other like galactic races, whether we're talking about, you know, everything that you and J0reeezy were just speaking of, or if we're talking about again, reptilians, shapeshifters, what have you, like I don't know, man. I just think it's so vast. Like the universe is so vast.
Yeah, bro.
But I've contradicted what I'm saying now is contradicting a lot of the things I've said in the past. But again, my thoughts change because
Here's the thing. I think now they're interdimensional.
Yeah, bro.
That's what I think
last
now.
night.
But not on a high frequency kind of level. It's all low frequency.
yeah, different densities. There's different densities.
We're not the only density. We're a low density though, dude. Like we ain't shit. You know what I mean? Like we're not that evolved consciously. I mean, we are, but there's a lot of things that are on our same level that we can't see, and there's a lot of things, you know, lower than us that we can't see.
But I think that has a lot to do with. I was thinking about that today, actually. Funny enough, I was listening to Tinfoil like I don't know, like an hour and a half ago. And there's a gal on talking about being a remote viewer and I guess a channeler of sorts and like densities and but when you think about something, shout out to the anomaly hunters, right? Nate, Ben, and I think Isaac and Ben's wife, and they're capturing all these things, and I almost think that like if you were to like walk into like and you actually see like a figure walking by, like I think that's a different dimension, or it could be also a different density. So it's not, I don't know. My brain can't wrap around what I'm thinking at the moment.
No,
but yeah,
I completely understand what you're saying. It also may be residual energy. But I understand what you're saying, especially with ghosts and specters and apparitions. Man, I mean, I've seen videos, and again, this is a video, could be could be fake and gay, you know. But I've seen where like there's a glass window leaned up against a wall, and the person with the camera is walking by it, and while they walk by this, like the sighting of the apparition is their face in one of the panes, like they're looking up, standing under the window, but the window's on the ground. And it's like, how did it get in that space? That's a dimensional space that they can only fit in that ghostly dimension, whatever dimension that is.
It's more convincing. It's more convincing too when like it's a general like agreement that people feel uneasy around a certain space, right? But when there's a medium that can pinpoint the history, you know, that correlates with whatever phenomena is going on there, that's when it gets kind of like interdimensional spiritual. I feel like almost like
spiritual warfare almost.
Yeah, right. Like some kind of fucking Akashic records, astral history type shit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, dude. The Akashic records is a very touchy subject because there's a lot of people who, you know, they're like, you don't know what you're channeling, or it's all, and there's some theories of it being like, a lower dimension that I guess we perceive while we're experiencing it astrally. If we're astral projecting there or something, or having an experience while we're here. maybe we perceive it as like a heavenly place, but really that's just a deception. It's just whatever entity is controlling that place is making it seem that way. We just don't realize because we're not as consciously evolved.
Sylvia Brown,
bro. Yeah. Go ahead, Chef.
I mean, no, you're good. A couple, I mean, not a couple years ago, a long time ago, I think it was 15 or 16, and my aunt introduced me to the Sylvia Brown series. And I know some people say she's faking gay, other people say that she's whatever, but I've read a lot of her books, and I've always found them super intriguing. And one of the things that she talks about, for some reason, that just triggered this thought, but it's like the Hall of Records, and the way that she describes it is that, I don't know if it had to do with like NDEs, near-death experiences, or if it was something that you experience in the afterlife, but it's like this big cathedral, and it's a big library, and this library has tons of books, and all these books have all the answers to everything. And I don't know a lot about the Akashic records, but would those possibly be similar things where like it's the knowledge of everything like in these books?
It's pretty much like an undeletable history.
Okay.
Of
the
of
history
the world, right?
of the entire world forever. It exists in the ether. There is actually a book. Whenever Juan Ayala was on my podcast, shout out Juan. Yeah. I brought this up. It's called The Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ, and it was translated by some prophet named Levi from the Akashic records. And it's basically the story of Christ, and it's him going to Western Tibet and India and all these, but it's not blasphemous at all.
No, yeah.
It's super esoteric, but it's identical to the Bible.
Well, essentially, like, that's what you're going to be judged on Judgment Day too, right? So there's no running away from your sins. But I feel like even putting the label of sins onto it kind of gives it a polarity kind of, judgment vibe, instead of just a record keeping of everything that happened just for auditing purposes, pretty much spiritual auditing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you could also agree. You could also argue that, doing some psychedelic drugs or near-death experiences or dreams tap into that realm. So I know Alex Jones has said there are elites that are doing intravenous DMT to trip out for long periods of time so that they can like map out and receive different blueprints for technology.
Downloads.
Yeah, right. So
yeah. From
I came across this thread too. It's like works based on dreams. So there's a scientist named Frederick August Kekule, and I guess he discovered the chemical structure for benzene because he had a dream of a group of snakes swallowing their tails. So like, dreams, they can be just like, dude, I had a dream about these snakes swallowing their tails, and you kind of disrespected the lesson or the blessing that interdimensional deity gave to you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or you could take it for what it's worth and fucking come up with the chemical structure for something that hasn't been discovered. And there's a whole bunch of other shit that people have discovered just based on dreams. And I bet there are too for near-death experiences. And you can't tell me that even stoners come up with works of art just fucking smoking weed sometimes. You know what I mean? So whether or not that taps into
some of the best art,
or something,
you may say.
Right. I would say so too. Just because our baseline vibration, I don't feel like is in tune with receiving signals from that dimension. I feel like they try to kind of keep us here. You know what I mean?
For sure, man. For sure. I mean, basically, this world is ran by a Satan deity. Satan means adversary. So it even says that in the biblical text that God put Satan in charge of this world. And so, man, yeah, you really have to have discernment. And yeah, I was gonna say, shout out Tiffany. That's watching. She's always watching Schizo News Network.
Shout out Tiffany.
Let's go.
I also just looked this up too. Dmitry Mendeleev, who created the periodic table foundational to current understanding of chemistry, claimed to have envisioned the complete arrangement of the elements in a dream, while suggesting to correctly orient elements he recalls seeing them in a dream, a table where all elements fell into place as required. And then Niels Bohr, too, won the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1922 for his discovery of the structure of the atom. He recalled that the electrons revolving around the nucleus like the solar system came to him in a dream. Upon testing his dream hypothesis, he was able to discover that the atomic structure was in fact similar to it. So, dude, that's fucking incredible. You know what I mean?
Crazy that you brought up the snake dream. My wife had 2 snake dreams, dog. Now, I don't know what the snakes were doing.
As long as they weren't on the plane, dude.
Dude, she has bronchitis right now, but if she didn't, she would be. She got it from my son because he just got out of school and fucking kids, right?
Yep.
What are you gonna do? And so, yeah, she's laid up right now. So she's not gonna come out here and talk. And even if she tried, I probably wouldn't let her. I love you.
Fair enough.
Tiffany thought that was funny.
That's wild,
we
dude.
got 3 people watching. Thank y'all for watching, man. I appreciate it.
Trying to find this book.
But yeah, dude. No, you've seen you talking about NDAs or NDEs. NDAs. You've seen the OA, right?
Yes.
I haven't. I've seen Flatliners though.
I don't know if this is how shows work in your house, but the way they work in my house is that I'll find a show, me and my fiance, that we really enjoy watching, and we'll watch an episode, and I'll go to work, and I'll come home, maybe do a show or 2, and I'm like 10 episodes fucking behind now.
Oh, dude.
So yeah, I gotta revisit that. Yeah, but I'm aware of the premise of the show. But yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, man. I mean, and that ties into Angels too.
Original Angel.
Dude. And my wife can expand on that for like 5 hours. Straight on just her talking about it, dude. She has came up with some fascinating shit that actually ties into her name, or her 2 initials being OA too. So,
oh shit,
yeah, dude, real weird shit, guys. We're gonna she's gonna start coming on soon, dude. She's probably a lot shyer than me. So,
we gotta get both of you guys on the Cave and on. I would like to have you guys on my show as well, but yeah, definitely on the Cave for sure, dude. 'Cause that'd be cool. Yeah. That'd be really cool.
Dude. Hell yeah, no, I'm down whenever, man. But back to what I was talking to you about the Angels. Yeah, the one side was reptilian, the other side apparently to my buddy my buddy Adrian, who I do this Pantheon project with, I'm gonna grift his book because I always do. Pantheon 1, The Golden Veins.
Okay.
On Amazon. Dude, he basically talks about the other side being like dog-like.
Bro.
And they were from Sirius.
Okay.
Enlil and Anu, where Anunnaki comes from. And Enlil, who is El, his children were the Elohim. And because you have Enlil, the first letter's E, the last letter's L. So
yeah.
Yeah. And that's why we call it Elohim etymology.
Mm-hmm.
The show. It's badass.
That's dope as fuck.
We've
man,
done like 4 episodes. We're gonna do one Saturday. So that should be out. I'm gonna try to get that out by Monday or Tuesday.
What's the name real quick of that show, the other show that you're doing? Or are you talking about on Greypilled?
Yeah, you can find it on my channel. They're all on my channel. Yeah. I should be professional enough to have like intros for it. It's just all the Greypilled intro. Besides Schizo News Network.
We're in the same boat, brother.
Well, you know, that's I'm going to give most of that credit to Nate because he brings most of the viewers. Maybe I bring the viewers now. I don't know. We'll have to see. And me and Thomas had that other show we do called Sound Science, which he did the first 3 episodes by himself, and then the fourth episode was me, and then the 5th episode I was supposed to just be behind the scenes to run the comments and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I ended up it ended up being on punk rock, which is what I grew up playing drums to. And that's what I grew up playing. And so I ended up being on that episode, and then we did this last episode where we interviewed my dad because he was a blues producer for 12 years. We're getting a lot of 12 years tonight, bro. I'm pretty sure we said 12 years like 4 or 5 times.
We did.
12's a very
it is
important number too. So
it's crazy.
Signs, bro. Signs from God.
Yo, I saw you had
I had a hawk fly in front of my truck today. So
I saw you had your dad on that show, man. That's fucking dope.
Yeah, man. He's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely wouldn't have started playing music if it wasn't for him. But he worked at a blues label in Jackson, in the middle of fucking West Jackson, dude. It's a shithole.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a gated in place, obviously. But we had him on, and it went great, man. It went great.
That's dope as fuck.
Yeah, dude. I was real stoked for him because he's starting a podcast.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, him and one of the artists that he manages. And so it was real good for him to do that, to first, before he starts off on his own.
Kind of broke him in a little bit.
Yeah, man, tried to.
Yeah. That's what's up, man.
Yeah, man, it was fun, but we're doing a couple more. We're doing one with Donut on Memphis Rap. Mm-hmm. Hopefully soon. It may be a month or so. We'll see. It depends on how busy Donut is. But and then we're doing another punk rock one with Cheney, I think. Again, I don't know. Maybe. I hope.
That'd be dope.
I don't like blowing people up too much about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to bother anybody. So,
as far as your research into angels go, so is there a real connection between Lucifer and music, or is that just kind of like a Christian mainstream belief that he's the god or the angel of music?
Yeah, man. Well, okay, so Lucifer means morning star, right? Mm-hmm. Or light bearer. Same thing as Prometheus in Greece, the guy who brought people fire. But I mean, fire, light, it's symbolic of the same thing. Bringing knowledge. In a way, that's but also it's known as Venus, the morning star or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I think it may have been brought into reality as an entity, but I don't know if there's like a biblical Lucifer. You know what I mean? I think there's many Satans, like it says, but the main Satan being Samael or Semyaza, same guy I was talking about. Mm-hmm. Yeah. His story is only really in the Book of Enoch, and like maybe some Gnostic text, and then the Sumerian text. There, you can't find too much of him anywhere, which makes me believe even more that he's one of the main deities that all these people are worshiping.
One question I had a friend ask me, and I actually didn't have an answer for this because I don't really know, but I called him more of a little god, like lower capital G, more so than a Nephilim. But is Zeus a Nephilim, or is he?
Okay, yeah.
Where does he stand?
I think Zeus is a son of Enlil.
Okay.
Yeah, who would be Kronos, I think. Yeah, Kronos and Saturn. Zeus, I believe, is. Dude, this is terrible. My Pantheon journal isn't out here. Either it's one of his sons. It's Ishkur, I believe, his youngest son. Hadad, I think that's his name in Babylon and Assyria. But yeah, it's just the son of another class of angel. Yeah, bro.
Because he went and bred with other humans, so technically the people who are the offsprings of Zeus would be the Nephilim, not Zeus himself, right? So,
well, yeah, no. All of these fallen angels, they all went down and would grab up women all the time and just like smash and pass. You know? yeah, like that's it. And so, Tiffany's out. Good night, Tiffany. So yeah, dude. I mean, but it's really the same pantheon of gods. Yeah. They were sent here to guide us, probably like not even in physical form. And then once they decided to take physical form, I'm sure they had the power to manifest, being messengers of the Creator, you know. And that goes into a lot of things, you know, what and I don't know, people like to question the whole space thing, like I said, and that's fine. So you have to tread lightly, kind of, when you talk about it. But it goes into a lot of things, bro. It goes into like star seed races and all that shit, too. Like shit. That if you want to go down that rabbit hole, you can, but it's gonna like put you through there, you know.
So this new thing I'm playing with is, I feel like space is less of a vacuum, but more of another dense form of liquid, whether it's like some kind of other form of amniotic fluid, you know what I mean? But something else, you know what I mean? And I think that's why NASA has all their practices and their exercises in pools, you know, because it's some sort of water body characteristic type of thing.
So
you know
if it was water, why wouldn't beings be able to get through that water, you know, with a certain like submarine or boat or something,
right?
I think very far away or maybe even closer. It just takes a long time to get through it. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I think water or not, like I think it's definitely still possible. Like I'm a firm believer in USOs. Like that was one of my, like, UFOs have always been like a cool, like, when, especially when you're younger, like when I was going to school and I was checking out the library, like they had a bunch of like UFO books and what have you. But it wasn't until I got into like USOs and different naval ships that were out at sea and were seeing these craft come up out of the water.
Terrifying.
Oh, dude. Like UFOs alone were talked about in that time. And then you're talking about, you're in the middle of fucking nowhere.
No. Anything under the ocean.
Dog, I'm with you, bro. I hate the ocean.
It's a
like,
wrap,
I love the
bro.
ocean, but I don't love the under the water.
I love the ocean if I can stand in it.
That's it, dude.
I'm not going, bro.
Like I said,
not
I live
me.
in Cali and I go to the beaches a lot, but you won't catch me past another person. You know, I always have to have a person or two in front of me as a marker, just in case there are predators lurking out there.
If you lay down and you get up, you're too far. You're like, oh shit.
Hell yeah.
No,
even if you walk and
dude.
you step on a ditch or something, you bottom out a little bit. It's like, oh
dude,
shit.
when I was a kid, man, like we used to go to the beach against Southern California as well. I remember so many times going out to the ocean, and I would
great weather.
No, it's seriously great weather, man. That we have.
I know y'all have great weather.
We have pretty damn good weather, but I'll never forget, dude, going out into the ocean. Like I should have died like 4 times. Like when you're like out there and a wave hits you, and you already took like your last breath, like that you got, and then it just
big wave. Right?
Dude, it swirls you underwater. You're spinning, dude. All you're doing is spinning, and you're just waiting for the current and the tide and the rip current.
Yeah, when you're in the rip current, it doesn't matter how fucking hard you're swimming.
Nope. But like even today, like if we go to the beach, like my kids can go out, like, but I don't go. You can only go as far as I can go, and I only go as far as my ankles. So. That's as far as we're going, bro. Like, let alone like, okay, we can just talk about like, you know, sharks or jellyfish. Like, fuck all those things, dude. I'm cool on all of that. But then you start realizing like, yeah, well, we don't know shit about the ocean, and like God knows what's underneath there. I don't, and I'm good on that, dude. Like, I respect the ocean. I respect it enough to say, hey, how you doing? From my beach towel and my cooler sitting on the beach, and that's about as far as I go, and that's about as far as I'll ever go.
Bro, we took a boat out to Catalina Island, and the whole fucking time I was fucking tight asshole, bro. I was so scared to get there, bro, because that's kind of around the waters that the David Fravor incident happened, you know? And before it went like aerial, the Tic Tac was kind of pretty close to the ocean, and there was like a cross like ship that was submerged that was kind of surfacing, you know? And I'm more afraid of USOs than UFOs, you know? I'll take a fucking video of a UFO, but a USO, like I'd have to be close to the body of water to see it. You feel me?
Imagine if you were still in the shallow end and you were one of the only people out there and you just like felt like a force.
Oh man.
And you just looked up and it was just like rising up from like maybe 10 feet away from me.
Oh,
something massive, bro. Like you can't even comprehend how fucking massive.
I don't know what I would do, dude.
I would probably have a heart attack, dude. Like I've always feared that.
Yeah, I'd piss myself and faint.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, yeah, man.
And rightly so, because no one should
amen.
have to experience that, dude. That's terrifying.
It's interesting. I'm a big fan of orcas, right, and killer whales. And it's interesting that there aren't much. I'm sure there are a few outliers, but there aren't really many human deaths via orca attacks, right? And it made me think, like, if you factor in USOs, those motherfuckers have seen some crazy shit. So humans aren't really, you know, that interesting to us.
Dude, I can't even imagine.
You factor in fucking like mermaids and all that shit, you know what I mean?
Dude, yeah, and Undines go way back to the same fallen angel pantheon with Dagon and shit, dude, and all the Phoenician gods that were worshipped.
Do you guys think it's possible? Because I've seen like, and now that I'm a little bit more aware of like just life in general, and then you're watching like the History Channel or you're watching Shark Week, like I take a lot of that with a grain of salt, you know?
Yeah.
But when they study, what is it? Echolocation, I believe it is, like the way that whales and dolphins communicate. Like, I would not put it past our good old government to where they already know the language that they're speaking, and like they'll be like, "Oh yeah." That dolphin just said, "I love you" to the other dolphin. It's like, yeah, fucking right. That dolphin just told the other dolphin that there's like a fucking city down there and they're about to pop up in 20 minutes. So they fucking dip.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, because John C. Lilly was probably tied in with the feds, and he was fucking dolphins and doing fucking occult rituals and shit and documenting it, you know. And now they're making a fucking TV show about it.
I heard that was what Shape of Water was based on.
What?
John Lilly's experiment with the dolphins. I haven't seen the movie, but I heard that the sea creature has sex with one of the females in the movie.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, he fucks that girl. Yeah. Yeah. So, dude, how many of y'all are in the cave?
Yeah. So shit. There's 1, 2. I think there's 6 of us. 6 total. 7. I think we added so there's 7 of us total. If you're familiar with wrestling, we're like the NWO, bro. There's just gonna be a shit ton of us that are kind of doing their own thing, but under the same umbrella type shit. You know what I mean?
That's awesome, dude. I love that.
It's cool. Like when J0reeezy hit me up, like the baddest. I'm talking bad, like badass. Like the coolest thing about it is like it actually kind of sucks in a way because like I don't get we all talk, but like there's a couple of people in the cave that I don't get to like do shows with a whole lot because everyone's so busy, but everyone's got their own little spots. Like they do, you know, there's a sports thing. So like I'll dabble in the sports when like NFL comes through or like if there's a UFC show, but then they have again, like the KVW where they go over like, I mean, it's everything all in one, like everything all in one. It's crazy. It's mind blowing. I'm still wrapping my head around it like 6 months later, to be quite honest with you.
Which is funny because I think sports is faking gay. So it's like, I don't have to believe in all that. You know what I mean? So like you guys can kind of hang out. It's almost, it's really inspired by like Spike TV. You know what I mean? It's
I'm
like
not a fan of sports either, dude.
Yeah.
Like I said, I grew up playing drums, bro. So I was always playing fucking punk rock and
No Effects, Bad Religion, Pennywise.
Nah, dude, more like SSD, Negative Approach, Infest,
oh shit,
Bad Brains, like more hardcore punk.
Okay.
Sick of It All, Biohazard, old Biohazard. Because Biohazard got gay. Once dude fucking went on Oz, he got real gay.
Oz, like Dr. Oz, like the Dr. Oz show?
Fucking show
on
HBO of all the guys in prison boo-fooing each other and heroin.
Don't do drugs,
great show, dude. 3 best shows ever, in my opinion. Sopranos, The Wire,
The Office,
and Oz. No, no. I don't know, dude. I'm a big fan of Trailer Park Boys. The first 7 seasons, very nostalgic to me. Very nostalgic to me.
I got to go back and watch. I've never seen it. I'm not against it. I'm not opposed to it, but I really want to see it.
It started sucking up towards the later seasons, and now that the guy that played Mr. Leahy is dead.
What happened?
I forgot how he died, but you can't make the show anymore without him. I mean, you could, and you'd really have to make it funny, but those guys are old now, I'm pretty sure, man.
Damn.
Well, that's like The Office, dude. Like after Steve Carell left.
I love The Office.
After Steve Carell left, like it just. But I heard there's a new show. I'm gonna try to watch it tonight. It's called The Tires with Shane Gillis. I heard Shane Gillis is in it.
Is it new?
Yeah, it's new. It's called The Tires. I heard it's really, really, really good. I think it's on Netflix. Yeah, it's on Netflix.
I'm gonna go watch that too.
Everyone said just to get past the first episode. So the first episode's kind of like introducing characters, but apparently it's fucking hilarious. And the shows are really, really short, so they're not super long. But I've heard nothing but good things about it. And if it has, I guess like how like The Office, the way that the camera, the way that the cinematography is kind of like weird, and that's what threw me off of The Office at first. Like one of my buddies, that was back when I was in the Navy. He's like, "You gotta watch it." I'm like, "Dude, I'm getting a fucking headache, dude. After like the first 20 minutes because the way that the camera moves. And now it's hands down. I fall asleep to The Office every single night. Every single
Really?
night.
That's
My fiance
awesome, man.
puts that on. I fall asleep and I just got. Anyhow.
You know, I blame the fact that I can't pay attention to shows that much anymore to the modern style of editing. You know, I feel like the cuts are too fast.
They're
short
and reels. Yeah, man.
So, you know, to me, I lose interest, and I feel like, dude, like this is a dope ass story. And if I see a TikTok of like a recap of this movie, I'll be like, dude, why didn't I fucking get into it while I was watching it? And I blame the editors, bro. So
yeah, dude. But yeah, bro. No, that's like me when I'm watching. Well, I love. Like, I'm a huge fan of fucking David Lynch. So, I love Twin Peaks, like, a lot. And it's funny, shout out Isaac Weishaupt. He does like a show on it. I don't listen to that one in particular because you have to pay for it. Mm-hmm. And I have my own theories on the show, you know. So, yeah. But when he started talking about it on his regular show is when I kind of went and rewatched it because I've always been a fan of his work. That is Lynch, right? Blue Velvet, Mulholland Drive, like they're great movies. So I'm a big fan of Twin Peaks. And there's also similarities I've found with Twin Peaks and the OA. So it's just real interesting shit, dude. But I fall asleep to that a lot. I had to go back and rewatch I guess both seasons.
You think we
three times?
They kind of, you know what I mean? Take it in though while we're asleep and watching these shows. I feel like subconsciously it becomes our theories when we talk on these podcasts. You know, even though we don't see it, it's like, oh, I think like there's a cave where there's some kind of portal underneath that the elites are working under. Because there's a show on Netflix called Dark too, and it kind of
I think
it sounds kind of like Twin Peaks too. Yeah, man, it's fucking complex as fuck. I've already watched it twice, and I still don't get it.
But once you get into it, then it's worth watching. Like you just want to go further. Yeah, that's how it was with Twin Peaks. Once you get past the first season, you have to understand this. You still have to understand the second season, but once you get past the first season, you're staying for the rest of the show. Yeah, you know. Mm-hmm. But what's crazy to me is how at the end So have y'all ever watched Twin Peaks?
Yeah, I've seen the first season.
Okay, well, I don't want to ruin it for Chef, bro.
Chef, you're muted, brother.
There we go.
Crazy, actually. Once it got going, it was.
I haven't seen it, but I am familiar with David Lynch, and I am familiar with the name of it, but I've never seen it. That was back in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like 90, 91, 92 is when he did that. Because then 25 years later, he did The Return. And it's crazy because in the show, the main girl, she says something to Kyle MacLachlan's character. And man, it basically implies 25 years. Like, I'll see you in 25 years. I don't want to spoil the show for you. But then 25 years later, he drops The Return. And like, because I didn't watch The Return. Like, I had seen the first two seasons when I was younger because I grew up, in like very indie scenes, big independent film. My wife has like 30 fucking vintage cameras.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So yeah, man, I don't know. there's not a lot of good movies that you can really find nowadays. Like,
No,
they're starting to kind of come back out, but I don't know, man. There's a lot of old shit that I kind of just like rewatch over and over, and I don't get tired of some of it, you know.
Well, some of the good shit that are coming out are based on old shit. They're either remakes or, you know,
And
they're
they're making
sequels
everyone
years
black.
later. You know what I'm saying? Or either lesbian or black, bro. One of the two.
Or a black lesbian.
Man, I just posted this thing on Twitter. It's a Kyle Rittenhouse fucking movie coming out on Netflix, and Michael B. Jordan's playing.
Shut the fuck up.
No, I'm trolling, dog, but they told me.
Oh, dude. That's
Can you
so
imagine?
fucking
It's
funny, man.
like Michael B. Jordan, but it's like White Lives Matter, like all flooding the streets, and he's just out there.
That'd be a lit movie, though. That'd be a lit
Oh
movie.
my goodness.
I mean, dude, how is it? I mean, and I saw this on a meme too. How is it he aims into a crowd of fucking liberals and kills a pedophile, a woman beater, and a fucking like
Yeah, bro. What
like
the
serial offender, like some dude who's like robbed old people and shit. You know, it's like, what are the odds? Like,
Why is he getting ridiculed? The fucking Marines should be trying to recruit that guy, bro.
Hey, what was that movie with like Angelina Jolie, Morgan Freeman, where they curved the bullets?
Oh, Wanted?
Yeah, he was doing some wanted shit, just like, nope, not you, nope, yep, right behind
Yeah,
you.
pretty much.
dude,
What are the odds of that, though, right?
that was
fucking
so
crazy.
surreal when that was happening in like real time. It was like, fuck, dude, this kid's about to go to prison for like defending himself. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, if that happens, we're fucked. I mean, we're fucked anyway. You know, but
Knowing who the targets are in their history, like, you got to give him some credit because he fired like off of base, like instincts. You know what I mean? He fell on the ground, aimed, and shot. Like, there wasn't much time to get your shot. You know what I mean? Stabilize and then aim. Make sure that you're getting a lethal target, or, you know, a target that will probably like nullify the opponent. But
I mean, the
shit,
one guy,
man, he did what he could with the bullets that he had and the time that he had. That's grade S tier shooting right there, I think.
the one guy was Jewish, so they try to call him anti-Semitic too.
Oh man.
Of course, that sounds about right.
Hey, I know y'all gotta go.
Hell yeah.
Y'all got somewhere to be, so y'all go ahead and throw your plugs in, and I'm gonna get out of here too, because I have to fucking work in the morning.
Shit.
But then I'm off for the weekend, man. So
Hell yeah.
thank-
We'll definitely
it's been a
we'll
long
definitely
week.
get you in the cave, man. You gotta
For
come
sure,
in the
dude.
cave.
And let's try. I'm on vacation in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I'll actually
Done and
have
done.
time to do podcasts where my brain is working.
Hell yeah.
Because lately, yeah, dude, I've been working like 55 hours a week. Yeah, it's and I
Takes a
only work.
toll.
Well,
It
it's
takes a
just
toll for
Monday
sure.
through Friday, bro. So and I have two days to recover.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to do whatever podcast that I'm going to do Saturday and then hang out with the family Sunday. But I also try to do stuff after work during the week. But that's usually, I try to push through it because my brain doesn't work half the time. But I'm getting better, and I've also tried to cut down on my cursing this episode, which I think I did. I only said fuck like 7 or 8 times. Maybe I'll probably listen back and it'll be a lot more, but I'm conscious of it, and I plan on working on it. So
Hell yeah.
that's
Fred
the first step.
Fred Durst would be proud. I'm just saying.
Hey man, shout out Fred Durst, dude. He's actually like kind of cool, you know.
I like him. I like
Yeah,
him.
man. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm a fan.
he's actually kind of based, dude. Yeah.
J0reeezy, if you want to go first, bro, or whatever.
Oh yeah. Well, shit. You know what? We're gonna take some of the conversations we had with you and take it to the fucking Bible study we're gonna do right now. Said the fucking Bible study. We're doing a Bible study right now inside the cave.
I said the same thing earlier. I was like, yeah, man, been into fucking Jesus. Like,
bro, it's so funny. The first,
you know what I mean? Like,
the first episode, I was like,
there's
should
another
we?
fuck right there.
The first episode of the Bible study, I was like, should we fucking like pray and shit or what? So shit. We're doing an Ethiopian Bible study inside the cave.
That's
you
awesome.
Can follow us at the cave on all social media platforms, and you can follow me at J0reeezy, J0reeezy. Anywhere.
I'm also one of the many cavemen, but I also do my own little side gig. Pretty much do shows every Friday. I've been slacking balls putting out episodes. I'm sitting on like 5 shows. I'm working on that as far as like putting them out. But yeah, Sunday Night Secret Society. You can find me over. I'm on Apple and Spotify. After tonight's conversation, I do have a Rumble account. I haven't been posting there. I'm going to start doing that. Both of you guys motivated me, so thank you. And then you can find me at Instagram at Sunday Night Secret Society Pod. Yes, I do regret making the name so long for the Instagram because it's a fucking pain in the dick. But yeah, other than that, man, thank you. We'll be in touch, but I definitely want to have you on the show. I know J0reeezy is going to get you on the cave, but I'm thinking like a week or two we'll get this up and rolling. And I have some cool topics that you mentioned. I don't have topics. You have topics that I don't know shit about that I would love to pick your brain on. So yeah, Jules, thank you so much. J0reeezy, thank you again for letting me hop on with the two of you gentlemen, and I'm happy this happened tonight, and hopefully I'll see you soon on Schizo News Network, baby.
Take the Greypill. Take the Greypill.
Love to have you on there, dude. Guys, you find me on Instagram, Greypilled_podcast, Greypill Pod on Twitter, Greypilledpodcast on Spotify, Rumble, and what's that other one? Oh, YouTube. Yeah, fucking YouTube.
Ooh, YouTube.
Yeah, we're streaming live there right now. And Bitchute, it's just Greypilled. Doing another Pantheon project Saturday, so have that out at the beginning of next week, hopefully. Schizo News Network Saturday night. Doing a Sound Science soon. Got a few more in the works, and maybe an Odd Pilled this weekend. We'll see, with me and my boy Cody from Oddfellows. Go to oddfellowsbrand.com and buy some of his merch. Also, go to paranoidamerican.com and buy some stuff from my boy Thomas.
What's up, Thomas?
Man. Y'all take the Greypill, and we will see y'all next time.
Thanks, Jules. Much appreciated, brother.
Oh yeah, appreciate it, brother.
Me up. All right, man. Later, everybody.
Gather around, all you mystery seekers. We're diving deep into the dark, exploring realms beyond what's known, where the secrets of the shadows leave their mark. Come take a ride on the Greypill Express, where esoteric knowledge is our guest. From conspiracies to cryptids, we unveil the veil, mysticism and the occult, our forbidden tale.